And we're back here, JB, and we're going to continue my talk with Chad here. Chad Grubbs, SID at Hardin-Simmons, and we were talking about 21 years of covering this game.
Yeah.
And so, give me some of the things to watch for today.
No, I think always when these two teams match up, I think both teams are good defensively. It's which team's offense is going to get it going. Cowboys have struggled a little bit the last couple, not necessarily struggled, but haven't been their usual self the last couple of weeks. Had a couple of COVID guys in there. They're back today, and I anticipate the Cowboys will be ready to play.
JB, what do you got for us?
Well, first off, Chad, thank you for all your help and getting us Kyle Jones earlier in the week. He struck us as sort of like kind of the quiet sort of more leadership type. Can you talk a little bit about HSU's quarterback and was that sort of calm, quiet demeanor something we see on the football field, or does he flip a switch when he plays?
JB's asking if the demeanor of Kyle Jones really is as calm as it looked like in our interview, and he thanked you for helping us with that interview this week.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, Kyle's a pretty calm, collected person. I mean, and there's no doubt. We were talking about this on the way down. We've had really good quarterbacks at Hardin-Simmons, and I don't know that I've ever seen many follow the quarterback like they follow Kyle. He's such a good leader. The guys respect him, and I think this game means a lot to him. It means a lot to our team, but I would be surprised if he doesn't come out and play well.
The coaches, we talked a lot about Pete Fredenberg. Talk about the HSU coaching staff. Easy for me to say tonight, but just what does a game like this mean to that coaching staff? From what you can tell, you hear all the hubbub throughout the office. I'm sure
they are so calm and collected that it's always. I lost my earpiece again, but hey, I caught it this time.
You got
though.
it though.
They just treat it another week. I mean, it's an important week. Everybody knows that. There's no secret about it. It's an important week, but they treat it just like another week. It's like it's one of the weeks on the schedule, and from the outside hub that it's this week, but you really don't talking to them.
We are going to take a look here as a beautiful stadium here at the Cathedral, and I know we saw the majestic area that you guys play in last spring when this game was played there. A little more quaint than this, probably, a lot of people think, but Texas football, even in college football, it amazes me every time, just the stadiums and the fandom and everything else. Is that why you stick around here?
Yeah, no kidding. It is a, Texas football is just different. Even on the high school level, everything. I mean, these kids have all played in great programs, and, a lot of times, their stadiums are just like this in high school. So they're used to play on this level. But, I don't know what it is about Texas football, and Florida probably says the same thing. California says the same thing, but it's just different.
Well, come on over with me here. I'm going to give you a chance to give any shout-out to any family and friends. We usually save this for student-athletes, but you came on down here to join us. We appreciate Chad.
All of our former players and coaches are out there. I know there's a lot of them tuning in. I get texts all during this week. So, this program's all about them. So, I just want another good game.
I think we're going to see one. JB and I think both think that's going to happen here, and we appreciate you joining us. And we'll see what happens in this one. It's going to be a nice, perfect weather night here tonight.
Oh yeah, it should be great.
So we are not going to have elements playing any factor here.
Yeah,
Chad, thank you very much.
I appreciate you having us on.
Thank you, JB. I'm going to let you take it for a second here as we prep. Took our microphone with us. There you go. live stuff here. JB, go ahead and take
TV.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, bud.
Well, so far, week 4 has been pretty interesting, Frank. We've seen a few upsets. We've seen some games kind of go like we expected. Unfortunately for you, Frank, a couple of your upset picks didn't quite pan out for you so far. So I'm starting to get a lead here in the pick challenge. So we have 3 more games left. Washington and Jefferson and Mary Hardin Baylor obviously were teams that we liked kind of preliminarily, and then we split on the Central Trine game. I went with the Colonels. You're going with the Thunder. So you might be able to pick up 1 or 2 on me there, I guess. Really 1 at this point, because we agreed on 9 out of the 12 games we picked, interestingly enough, and that's kind of been how it's gone. But yeah, if we look at Region 1, It started on Friday night with Bridgewater State hanging on to beat WestCon. Some of our feature games, Salve Regina was down 35-16 at halftime, Frank, and then they scored 35 unanswered points in the second half, shut out the Profs. Joey Moriello, can we start getting a serious All-American campaign for this kid? 300 yards.
Doubt, man. Come on.
I mean, look at that. 31 rushes, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jack McGuire had 5 passing TDs. Widener beat Albright. They're 4-0 and looking like a true top contender in the MAC race.
Yeah, that Widener score does not surprise me, as you know. I kind of thought Widener had an edge there. The Salve Regina score, I saw it earlier. I didn't realize they pulled it out in the end because we had some interesting other scores throughout the regions. Union Utica at 30-9, not surprising there. And the Western New England score, not very surprising either. Salisbury, much the better as well. And we'll go to the other regions.
I will say this really quick, Frank. It was 23-14 Salisbury at half in the third quarter, basically. So the Golden Bears were hanging in there for a good part of this game. It really wasn't until later on that the Seagulls started to pull away. So you really have to give a lot of credit to Western New England. And it looks like there might be a typo on that slide. They're 2-2, not 2-3. I gotta work on the little minor details, but we'll get there.
I'm going to talk about the ending of that Westminster game against Grove City. Unbelievable game. Grove City had this game won, we thought, early. And Westminster clawed their way back, but Grove City, resilient, takes the lead with about 2.5 minutes left. Cole Konitschka and company. Denny Dennison with that tremendous 26-yard connection with him with 1:14 left. Unreal game. It was 20-0 with 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. I mean, this game was done. Grove City had this game. This is going to be one they look back at all season and say, what the heck happened? And congratulations to Huntington in the coin toss bowl. They did win. I already got my ribbing from a fan of Huntington saying, here's your tiebreaker. And my answer, of course, was, well, that tiebreaker would have been so much better if it was actually in the spring season. But you know what? Enjoy the win, because you can't take that away from you, that's for sure. What else from Region 3 sticks out to you as we kind of take a look here, as we've got a lot of fans starting to load up on the sidelines here?
Well, one of the games that you called to my attention, Frank, was the Washington and Lee knocked off number 16 ranked Randolph-Macon with a walk-off 2-point conversion in the final play of the game. A really exciting finish to that. There were actually a lot of close games in Region 3. Hampden-Sydney won by a point. Barham won by 2 points. North Carolina Wesleyan won by 5. A lot of close calls in this region, and we still have about 6 games still to kick off in the evening portion. So pretty exciting stuff in Region 3 tonight.
And in Region 4 through 6, we don't have a score here yet. That's good to know. We didn't miss anything in this game. But St. John's and Beckville went down to the wire, and 31-25 final for St. John's. My upset did not pan out there. It was close, but it did not pan out. Yep. And Devin Vogt with those 24 rushes and 2 touchdowns had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, when you kind of look across the rest of Region 4, there's Mountain Union doubling up John Carroll's not a surprise, although the score is a little lower than I thought. That North Central game against Augustana is probably a final by now. It's kind of stuck at 3 minutes left on the live stats. But otherwise, you'll see Baldwin Wallace knocks off Heidelberg. So unfortunately for the Student Princes, that'll probably mean they'll drop out of the top 25. And then these games in bold, Frank, as we talked about, there are multiple what we'll call cross-region games happening. Albion hanging on to knock off Eau Claire was one of the games we picked and got right. Some of the other action, though, kind of across the region, you'll see some close calls, but some blowouts too. And then there's a bunch of other games, I think, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or so that are kicking off on the later side. I think some are in the second quarter. There'll be about 5 games kicking off at 7 p.m. along with this one. So it's been a nice busy day of college football in D3. I think 94 or 5 games in total when it's all said and done. The SCIAC is not really doing much this weekend, though. I mean, Claremont was actually leading Chapman 22-14 in the third quarter. For the most part, though, the SCIAC is on bye. Same thing with the Northwest Conference. Willamette is losing pretty lopsided to Pomona Pitzer, who we highlighted in our in our crunch time, that crazy comeback that they had, or really it was Pacific who had the crazy win there. So I think they're the Sage Hens. Is that what they're called there in Pomona, Frank?
Pomona Pitzer is Sage Hens, yes. And Pacific,
okay.
What are they? The Boxers, I think.
The Boxers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So remember last week, I somehow made it through the entire crunch time segment, not screwing up their names, or at least editing was really good for that piece. So we'll just go with that there. Sorry, my sound's a little bit low here. And now you can hear me, as I was saying.
Turn
we got
yourself
through that
up,
crunch
Frank.
time segment last week without any problems naming those schools. So, but there are two schools here tonight that are going to be playing that we're not going to screw up their names, that's for sure. Hardin-Simmons, Mary Hardin-Baylor taking on each other. And JB, I think we showed it during our our interview show Friday, the video clip from 2019. We're going to load that back up right now as we have an opportunity to look at it again. Chad Hammonds from UMHB, he's going to be joining us in a little bit to talk about UMHB football. But I mean,
easy for you to say.
Yeah, what do your memories of that game, this rivalry? We haven't been covering these teams as much as others in the nation, but ever since Brockport took on Mary Hardin-Baylor, we seem to forge a good relationship with them in that 2018 matchup. So your thoughts as we get this loaded back up?
Well, I mean, both of these teams have really, over the last 20 years have grown into, perennial top 10 national powers in Division III. I mean, obviously the Crew have won a couple of national championships, and maybe if Hardin-Simmons wasn't in the same conference, they would be in the same boat and also winning a few titles. They've been close, but they just haven't quite gotten over the hump just yet. We thought maybe in the spring, because of how explosive their offense was, that we would see them finally knock off the Crew, especially after that such a close call field goal game in 2019. But so far, the Cowboys haven't been able to get one over on the Crusaders in a few years. So I'm sure they're probably thinking that this might be your best chance yet. We'll see.
JB, I thought we had it up, loaded, ready to go here. Chad Hammonds coming up in a second here. Again, though, you're watching in the Huddle's coverage of the Hardin-Simmons Mary Hardin-Baylor game. Let's go back to that fateful day a while back.
Scores on the 30-yard touchdown pass from Jake Hammock. 9 seconds and counting, and they're going to have to hurry and line up. This is going to be a 42-yard attempt to win the game by Anthony Avila. And they just get it away. The kick is up. And good! Mary Hardin-Baylor wins it at the buzzer. A 42-yard field goal, and the Crew has won Hardin-Simmons 15-14. And what a final drive by Mary.
Can't hear you guys. Oop, this froze up again.
Down when that kick went through, one of those deals where you just can't look at it.
Guess we're having a little more on the field technical difficulties with all the fans and stuff going on there. It's probably a little bit of a bandwidth challenge for Frank there on the field, but we'll give it a minute, and I'm sure he'll try to dial back up as soon as he can.